Then in 2003, I went out to a marketing seminar and I started talking to a few people that I met there. And I realized that these results I was getting from these launches, no one else was doing these launches. So I started sharing it with a few friends. Then in 2005, I put together my product launch formula training course. And well, the rest is history. The launches got bigger and bigger. My launches got bigger and bigger, but my students' launches started to get crazy. I'm Jeff Walker. I'm here to teach you about launches. I've been in business online since 1996. I've been launching since 1996, and I learned a few things. If you couldn't hear me a minute ago, I said, if you've seen someone launch in a big way online, they probably learned from me, or they learned from someone who learned from me. So let's just put a context around this idea of a launch. If you look at the way Apple launches a product, it's not like just one day all of a sudden it appears on the Apple website or the Apple store. If you've seen the way Hollywood launches a new film, it isn't like just one day all of a sudden the new film, the new Star Wars is in the theaters. No, there's a buildup to it. And this process I'm going to teach you is how we can take that same process and bring it into our world, the world of the solopreneur, the world of the micropreneur, someone who's just getting started, someone who probably has no team whatsoever, or maybe a very, very tiny team, someone who's starting with no list and no product. This is how you launch. This is how you get launched. And I started out in 1996. Back then there was no one teaching anything about online business. Online business was just getting started. I had no sales experience, no marketing experience, no business experience. So I just figured it out. My first launch did $1,650. And everyone's got a different frame around money. Everyone's got a different relationship to money. For me, at the time, I was a stay-at-home dad taking care of two small kids. My wife was supporting a family. We were desperate for any income we could get. And for me, $1,650 was life-changing money. So for some people, it's like, completely change the game. For some people, it's like, well, that doesn't sound all that impressive. For me, it was life-changing money. It was like my whole entire goal was to somehow make $10,000 in a year to help support the family. So I made that $1,650, and I was just so unbelievably stoked. I was so pumped up. But right then, I had this thought that was probably the most important thought I could ever have. And that was this idea that if I launched once, I can launch again and again and again. And I might actually get better at it. It might actually get better. And that's what happened. About 3 or 4 months later, I launched that same product again. I changed the offer just a little bit, so it was something fresh for the market, and I did a launch. That launch did over $6,000 in sales. So from $1,650 to $6,000, that's almost a 4 times increase. It was unbelievable, amazing. I couldn't believe it. There was one thing I learned there. I'm going to talk about it a little bit later. The one thing I learned that made that difference to go from $1,650 to $6,000. And then I did a launch that did $8,000, maybe 6 months later. And then maybe a year and a half later, it was about a year and a half later, I did a launch that did $34,000. Which was as much money as I'd ever made in an entire year coming up to then. That was the launch where my wife and I started talking about her leaving her corporate job and coming home. And then a few years later, we wanted to buy a new home, and I needed a down payment for it. So I put together a launch. That launch did $106,000 in a single week. And these numbers just kept on progressing and progressing and progressing. It was absolutely crazy. Then in 2003, I went out to a marketing seminar and I started talking to a few people that I met there. And I realized that these results I was getting from these launches, no one else was doing these launches. So I started sharing it with a few friends. Then in 2005, I put together my product launch formula training course. And well, the rest is history. The launches got bigger and bigger. My launches got bigger and bigger, but my students' launches started to get crazy. The numbers get crazy. You know, I did a launch that did $600,000. Then I did a launch that did $3.7 million in 34 hours. I did a launch that did $1 million in less than an hour. But if these numbers sound too crazy for you, then, because I know when I started out, if someone said they did a launch for their own product that they created, for a digital product that they created themselves, and did $1 million in sales in less than an hour, my brain would have shut down. I'm like, those numbers are impossible. I don't believe you, or I don't believe it's possible for me, even if it's possible for you. But the thing to remember is this all started out with that first launch that did $1,650. So we all have to do that first launch before we progress on. So that's what I want to focus on for you, is how to get you launched, no matter where you're at. I've just been watching the comments here on my computer. I know some of you are just starting out, and I know some of you are super, super advanced. And I want to cover the entire spectrum. And we're just getting to know each other, but I've already thrown a lot of numbers at you. But I have one more number that I'm super proud of. And that's the results that my students have gotten. So since I started teaching how to launch in 2005, because the first 8 years I was teaching about the stock market. Then in 2005, I made this pivot to start teaching about how to build your business, how to launch your business, how to launch your product, your service, your online membership site. So the one number I want to share, one last number, then we're going to get rolling. One last number I want to share with you is the results my students have gotten. And they've gotten over $1 billion in sales. $1 billion with a B, over $1 billion in sales. And that's the number I'm most proud of. They've done it at every market you could possibly imagine, from quit smoking to how to play, teaching youth soccer, to meditation, to stop smoking, to on and on. Around the world, in just about every language you can imagine, it's worked. Just a couple days ago, one of my students did over $100,000 in their launch in how to play saxophone. In fact, it wasn't just how to play saxophone, it was how to improvise when you're playing your saxophone. I don't know how to play the saxophone. I don't know how to train dogs. But my students do. And they've done their launches and they've had amazing results.
Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you truly enjoyed it. I'm Alessio Pieroni and I'm the founder of Scale for Impact and obviously of Scale with Alessio. In this channel you can find some of the most amazing marketing content, the content that will help your online education business to go to the next level. And if you want to see other videos like this one, please subscribe to this channel. It means really the world for us. And please also comment below and tell us how you found this video. It's truly important. If on the other side you want to go to the next level and you actually want to make sure that you can watch the entire talks from the Scale series, you want to see over 50 speakers, people that have been changing the entire marketing landscape, and see exactly how these can take your business to the next level, please subscribe to the Scale series. For just $99, you're gonna get the chance to see some of the most amazing speakers, and on top of that, get a lot of other bonuses. You're gonna have 3 amazing books completely for free inside that, tens of hours of other marketing training, all of it for just $99. Literally, that's just $2 per talk. And we're not talking about random speakers. We're talking about people like Jay Abraham, people like Alex Cattoni, Vishen Lakhiani, Jeff Walker, Perry Marshall, Rich Sheffrin, Molly Pittman, Murray Smith, incredible people that changed the entire marketing landscape right now at your fingertip for just $2 each. So don't wait anymore, it's time for you to get the Scale series. See you there and upgrade your marketing knowledge.